All right. Well, that makes it official, folks. It is Wednesday night, hump day, as we've come to know and love it. And hope you all are doing great. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and this is the Paranormal Portal. So if you found your way here, hopefully you're in the right place. This is always an adventure. We dive into all things strange and unusual. And it's been really cool lately to start the streams and to see a bunch of new names. So I really appreciate you guys giving us a shot and having a listen. And if you like it, subscribe, follow, whatever the thing is on the platform you're watching. And yeah, definitely become a part of the family. Good to see you, Barbara Morrow, over there on Rumble. And just checking it out. There's Twitch. There I am. I'm on Twitch. And so we got a new couple followers over on Twitch. And that was Jera Capri. Jera Capri, I think is how you'd say that. And then Pancakes is over there following us. Brand new. So thank you guys for following the show over on Twitch. I do appreciate it. And hopefully you're not disappointed. Hopefully you're not going, what did I do? Well, it's hopefully a good thing, and it's a good thing for us, of course. And hello to all of you guys on YouTube that are piling, and Barbara Morris over there too. Wizard Moon Audio, Rachel Gets It Right, Chucky Danger, Charles Centers is over here. And I'm scrolling up. Wizard Moon, I shed. Shrek's over here. How you doing, Shrek? And Chucky and Rachel and Charles and Shrek and God, you guys are just chatting away. Karen Alberding is in here. Good to see you, Karen. And I'm sure Neil is with you. Larry and Shirley Bell, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I met Larry and Shirley over at Phenomicon. It was great to meet them in person finally. We've been connected for years, but now we finally met. So that was really cool. Annie Minul is here. Casey Jones Astrology is here. And I'm scrolling. Jim Cipriano. Who's that guy? He's to let anybody in these days. No, that is my co-host for tonight, Mr. Jimmy. And we'll get to Jimmy here shortly. I got a little laundry to do on the front end of this, so you guys got to stick with me here. And I'm just scrolling up. Sinfully Wicked is here, as is Aussie Tiger. I think Aussie was the first one I saw in the gate tonight, so good to see you. And I think that's it, other than me. Almost lunch, Annie Manul says. Well, gotta have lunch, gotta have brunch. So we are going to have an epic show as always. It's 2 hours. It's the Hump Day show, of course. Brent, is the Ghost Radar on? Rachel, you know what? It is not, and God bless you for helping to keep me honest here. If you're new to the show, you'll see in the lower right-hand part of the screen next to the chat is this green box, and that is the Ghost Radar. And we are going to start our October streams. I can just do Oct 02/2024. And this is an application that may very well be detecting paranormal energy in the form of EM fields and stuff. And so that's what the circle here on the Ghost Radar is. That is like a kind of like our weather here on the show. So if you see dots appear and disappear on this, it could be, not necessarily is, but it could be paranormal activity in the form of some maybe spiritual presence, as it's largely believed that spiritual presences manifest in our realm in an energetic form as an EM field. And so this is using the computer's magnetometer, which is how wireless works. And the magnetometers can detect EM fluctuations. So EM stands for electromagnetic. It also has a word database built in. It sometimes spits out words that are, well, usually 99% of the time it spits out words that are just like, huh? It seems irrelevant as hell. Something seems to be triggering it to spit out words by some degree of factors. But every once in a while it spits out something that's surprisingly accurate, or at least relevant to what we're talking about. Generally speaking, it's not real accurate, but sometimes it surprises even me. So keep an eye on that. That's here on your screen, and you can check it out. Now, all right. Here's the thing, folks. I entered into an agreement with a company called Magic Mind. And what is Magic Mind? Well, give you a little background. Magic Mind is a company that does these nutritional energy kind of shots, really. And they reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, okay. Well, whatever. I wasn't really sure what to make of it because, full disclosure, I've heard about these kind of things forever. And I don't know, some of them may have some merit and some may not. But I'm generally speaking very largely skeptical about, hey, you can just drink this and it'll make you feel better. And, you know, I know that there are things like 5-hour energies and stuff out there that kind of give you a pump and get you going. But I'm largely skeptical of things like that. So when the company reached out to me, this company, Magic Mind, they said, hey, we love your show. We'd like to work with you and have you present our product on your show. And first of all, I am incredibly careful about what I endorse or what I promote here on the show, because I know that whatever I promote or endorse, it's my reputation on the line. And that means a lot to me. The integrity of this show means everything to me. So I was like, yeah, well, I don't know what this is, and I appreciate your offer, but you know, I have no idea what it is. And I would never just blindly do that. And they said, well, let's send you a sample. So they did. They sent me out a sample, and it finally came, and I'm here to tell you, I mean, honest to God, I don't get excited about things like this very often, but I'm not a morning person at all. I am like a sluggish turtle in the morning. I don't know how else to put it. And I'm nursing cups of coffee just to get engaged in my day. And so this came, and I was like, well, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. So I did, and it's literally a shot. This is it. This is the product. Now, I took it, and I swear to God, and this is, you know, in full honesty, I was absolutely floored. I was like, wow, I'm ready to go. And I honestly noticed that my productivity was way higher than usual. And I was able to engage and get going, and I felt like my mind was working with me instead of against me, which is normally the first half of my day, because generally speaking, I don't sleep well. So I took this, I was like, oh my God. So I was like, that was day one. They sent me a 15-day sampler. And I'm like, well, let's see if this continues. And sure enough, every day I took this. And again, this is called Magic Mind. And it's it's incredible stuff. I am a firm believer in this stuff, and I was very, very impressed. So I decided, let's do it. And here I am presenting it to you. Again, this is what they look like. These are the bottles of Magic Mind. And they are just little shots, basically. Now, what's in this? Well, there's a lot of amazing stuff in this. And I got to pull up the cheat sheet because there's words that I'm not really good at pronouncing, but we're going to give it a whirl anyway. So there is something in here called Bacope Monieri, Cognizin citrulline, or cytocholine. And then there's organic lion's mane mushroom, organic cordyceps mushrooms, and then there's rhodiola rosea, and then there's organic ashwagandha, vitamin B complex, so there's several versions of vitamin B in this thing, vitamin D3, vitamin C, L-theanine, turmeric, and organic agave. And these things are, I mean, everything that they're putting into this stuff is carefully screened. It's all organic. It's all healthy. And it works. It really works. So it says right on the bottle here, if I can get my light here, subtly sweet, sharper mind, lower stress, and calm energy. And I'm here to tell you, I'm all on board with this. So this is called Magic Mind. And all you do is you shake it. They do recommend, if you want, you can chill it in your refrigerator or whatever, but I just have them here on the desk. And every morning I open it and I have a little swig. And it's got this really cool flavor too. I mean, it's kind of really fresh and light. So it's not just like, oh, you don't feel like you're swallowing, pine tar or something like that. This stuff is really good. So that's what you do every morning. And my God, this stuff is great. So they sent me a box. I'm going to show you when you get a 15-day supply, it comes in a box like this. There's a beautiful little box. Now, I was impressed, honestly, the first time they sent it to me because of the packaging. It's like even they even were very thoughtful about how they packaged this product. So it's really incredibly impressive. So I'm opening it here on screen with you because they sent me 2 boxes. I opened one, and it comes with a nice little information card here to tell you about it, to give you a little bit about the background of the product itself. And then you get this box. So you open the box, and even the inside of the box is decorated with little sayings and stuff. I mean, it's almost a shame to throw the box away. It's like, God, that's a nice little box. So they come in this. This is your fold out, 15-day supply. You generally would use one a day. Not that you have to, but that's the recommendation. And they come in these little shots, and then you pull one out, have a go, and you're good to go. I just can only tell you that I would never endorse something I didn't absolutely believe in. I would never jeopardize the show's integrity that way. But this is Magic Mind, folks. Very cool. And I'm going to put it on screen. Here is their website, magicmind.com. However, if you're going to order, you got to do me a favor. If you're going to check it out and give it an order, do me a favor and go to magicmind.com/portal, Portal, and that'll bring you to this page. And this will also save you. I think it's 34% on a 15-day supply. So go to magicmind.com/portal. Again, magicmind.com/portal. So if you get a chance, if you feel like giving it a shot, literally, bump, try out Magic Mind. You'll be helping the portal as well. But again, I would never promote something I didn't firmly believe in. And this is an incredible product, and they got my vote for whatever that's worth. So thank you guys for listening in. I hope you'll give it a shot. It does go a long way to support the show. And if it's possible for you to do that, that'd be wonderful. I know if you do, you're not going to be disappointed. But thanks for listening. And we're going to get to the rest of the show. Before we go any further, let me just bring on tonight's guest host, Mr. Jimmy Cipriano. How you doing, Jimmy?
Doing great as always. Oh,
That was like a robot intro.
oh no. Am I
Yeah.
breaking up?
No, you were stuttering him. I don't know if it's you or me, but I'm going to reframe you here a little bit because you're kind of all over the frame. There you go. Now we're balanced. Balanced and fair. That's what I always shoot for here on the portal. But good to see you, man. How's everything been?
Great. Busy as always. Yeah, just wrapping up a million things it feels like, and it's only Wednesday. It feels like it's already next Friday.
Well, the Minions got the rest of the week off from school, so for him it is Friday.
Oh, nice. What's the occasion?
Teachers need some training, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
Teacher workshops, so that means keep your kids home and entertain them. And that's fine. He's pretty good about entertaining himself. So Jimmy, later in the show, we're going to be giving away a Discord T-shirt. So we're going to be doing that drawing in the second hour. Are you geared up for that?
Oh, I'm geared up and ready to go. I love doing giveaways.
Yeah, me too. I think you know what? Since we did 3 giveaways on last week on the live shows for the YouTube members, I think we're going to give away 2 Discord T-shirts because we hadn't done it for several months. So I think we're going to give away 2 of those.
Ooh.
I know, right? Give till it hurts. It hurts. It hurts, but I love you guys. And it's the least I can do. We kind of had done that for a while and then didn't do it. And I was like, well, I got to give you guys a little bonus. So we're going to do 2 of them tonight. So that'll be coming on in the second hour of the show. Before that, we're going to get to the news, of course. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Are you ready for that, Jimmy?
I'm always ready for some news.
Well, let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen, and see just what the hell I've pulled up for your benefits and your entertainment and hopefully your knowledge. What, Mike? I don't even know what the hell that means. Somebody time that guy out if he keeps spouting like that, though. Anyway, let's continue on here, and we are going to get to the news. I guess it's time for some news, Jimmy.
News.
The news, ladies and gentlemen. Time for the news. Here we go. Rachel. I can imagine, it's such a testament to the internet age, Jimmy. And that is you have the opportunity to talk to the world and you go full douche on that moment. It's like, yeah, I'm talking to the world. Yeah. Just like, start slapping your head against the windows and stuff. It's like, really, come on. I don't understand that. It's like, hey, it's a live stream. Let me get on there and be a douche. That'd be great. Right? I mean, is that logic or what?
Yeah, I think people see the live and they're like, gotta go for it.
Time to make my mark. Yeah, with your forehead, you clown. All right. Anyway, that's just the kind of fun we get here. We don't usually get a lot of that. So that's when it happens, like, hey, that really happened. Wow. So anyway. We're going to get to the shirts in the second hour, so just hang on to your hopes and dreams, and we'll see. Grandizer, I still haven't gotten your address or anything for your shirt, so please send it to me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. I can't send you a shirt unless I know where it's going. And let's get this rolling. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, and I am your anchor with my co-anchor, Jimmy. And we're going to dive into some news stories. Hopefully you're going to be wildly entertained, maybe mildly entertained, but you might just learn something and you might find something interesting. So that's about all I can help with. Blinded by the light, revved up like a douche.
Another roller of the night.
Amen, Casey. Amen. Yeah. We don't get a lot of that, but when it happens, by God, it's just like a hog pile in the chat. I pity any idiot that comes in here trying to be a clown. They will just They'll get brutalized by this chat. There's
Yeah, they must be new.
You ain't from around here, are you?
Back the way you came, buddy.
You guys are awesome. All right, so let's get to the news. The first article is going to come from Amazing Site. Now, throughout the course of the show, we utilize a lot of different sites, and I'm here to tell you that I love these sites. They are amazing, and I can only ask that you guys please visit them. Please visit them. You're into the paranormal already because you're here. Unless you're some douche canoe that wants to just type weird stuff because they're looking for attention, which we can't do anything for those kind of people. But if you're like me, you love the paranormal, and these sites all have some amazing material on there, some of which we cover on the show, but most of which we don't. So there's a lot more to check out. Please visit these sites, give them your love, your attention, your traffic, and help them keep the lights on. So that's all I'm going to say. But the first story tonight on the news comes from a site called Unexplained-Mysteries, of which most of you are probably familiar with. And if you're not, well, you came to the right place, because I'm about to just bring you up to speed here. First, what said canoe? Because that's still stuck in my head. First article tonight is Near-Death Experiences Changed Texas Man's View of Reality. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's very much the case, Jimmy, with near-death experiences. Generally speaking, they're incredibly transformative experiences. Like,
oh yeah,
the people that have them are like, wait a minute. It's recreated people's entire view on their lives, especially, the beautiful ones is like, oh, I'm no longer afraid to die. I know where I'm going. I've been there. It's wonderful. And then there's the other side of it where the people are like, I went right to hell and I'm going to be good now. Could you imagine? Could you imagine having a near-death experience? You don't know.
I know.
You don't know it's near death. You just think it's a death experience. And then you find yourself in hell. I mean, it's like, oh no.
Yep. And I've told you before, I go down this rabbit hole real hard. And the hell ones seem a lot less frequent than the ones that are positive, but they are horrifying nonetheless.
Yeah, I just think it goes to show that it probably takes an awful lot to piss off God, but when you do it,
yeah,
you're going to know about it. And that's one of those situations like, yeah, I was an ass for 80 years, and now I get to burn in fire. Thank you. It's like, yeah, just live well. Live well. Be a good person. Don't be a terrible person. Because I can't imagine, a worse situation. It's like these lives are so short. Our lives are so short. And then you got to look for, if it is an eternity, let's say there isn't reincarnation. If it is an eternity after we're done, how do you want to spend that? Because I don't know. I don't mean to jump on a morality pulpit here, but geez, I've heard those hell ones, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it seems like it's not even necessarily people who are inherently bad. It just kind of seems like people who don't have remorse for the things that they do, I guess. I don't know. Because, I'm always surprised at the people when they are like, yeah, I just, they're not necessarily terrible people. They just seem like they never really have put any thought into being a better person.
Sure. Well, and there's that. So I think, honestly, and this is kind of a side discussion, but I think that maybe there's different grades of that. Like you'll hear the stories of people like, and I found myself in a area of fire, and people were clawing at each other trying to get out of this fire, and they were burning and yet not burning. And then, they were screaming in agony. And then there's the other ones like, I found myself in a really cold, dark place, and it was just empty and void. And so
those ones are creepy.
Yeah, they are. But I think, well, hell, I'd prefer the cold, lonely place to the let's hopscotch through hell, but yeah, I don't know. So maybe that's the degrees of variation, like maybe there's several different hells depending on the intensity of your problems, but I don't know. Who knows? But let's get to this article and see what it says. It says, back in 1976, Timothy Cleve Abbott suffered a cardiac arrest and had an experience that he would never forget. Abbott, who was in high school at the time, had developed a blood blister on his foot that soon became so problematic that he was unable to walk, forcing him to go to the hospital. A blood blister? Oh my God. It wasn't the blister itself, however, that almost ended his life. It was the injection of penicillin that doctors had given him to ward off infection, which, as it turned out, he was very allergic to. Ooh. Within seconds, he had collapsed onto the floor, and his heart had stopped beating. I immediately left my body, he recalled. I saw my body fall down and bounce off the cement floor. The staff started freaking out and screaming, and the next thing I know, they're trying to bring me back with CPR. Ultimately, Abbott survived the experience, but then just 6 years later, he had another brush with death when he almost drowned while inner tubing on the Guadalupe River. I hit an area of turbulence, and I went down to the bottom of the river and ran out of air. And I had an X-ray vision. I can't explain it any other way, he said. I saw a hand and instinctively grabbed it, and he pulled me up. And then I came to, and I was spitting out water, and I looked in amazingly enough. I don't know what that means. The weirdest part of the story is that I knew the guy that saved my life. He was from my hometown 400 miles away, who just happened to be in the same spot at the same time I was with other friends. Ultimately, Abbott's near-death experiences changed his views on both religion and reality. I believe once you have opened that window or cracked that door to what happens in the afterlife, you carry it with you as a marker of sorts, or you're able to be in touch with things that you can't quite understand, he said. Yeah, I mean, it'd be neat to know what he saw, but maybe that was it. Maybe he didn't really have the deep, tunnel of light experience, but maybe, I don't know. But either way, I'm sure it's transformative, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, and I don't know where he stood on this, but I feel like most of the people who have a positive experience don't want to come back.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like they say, it's like being surrounded in perfect joy, love, warmth, and light, and it's like everything about here just seems cold and shallow and empty compared to that amazing feeling. So yeah, it's like, why? It's kind of like going on the best vacation ever and then having to go back home to get back to work. It's like, oh, come on, I just want to stay. So.
Yep. The book I read on it, the doctor who had his described it like, he said it's like going to a movie on like the nicest day of summer. And you're like, well, that was fun. And then you walk out and you're like, why did I spend all that time in the movie when it's so nice out? And the movie is essentially life here.
Yes.
And the summer, summer day is the rest of what we've got to do.
Right. Exactly. No, I think it's a beautiful experience generally for most people. You're right. And, the negative ones are horrifying, but I'm glad that most people that experience them come back with those wonderful stories, because I think they give us hope, and they give us a reaffirmation, I guess, of, the idea that this isn't the destination. This is the journey to the destination,
It almost kind of seems like it's not necessarily, being a good person or being a bad person that dictates the experience you get. It kind of seems like you get the experience that you need to have.
Sure. Yeah, I would say that sounds like a fair assessment. Yeah, and probably good thing you do.
Yeah.
So could you imagine going to like Princess Land? Because, it's made for like little kids and you're in the wrong one. It's like, yeah, send me back. Send me back.
You're like, I don't know if I think I fear death more now.
Don't make me stay with the ponies. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. I think anything is beautiful and, in a manner of speaking. So that was the first article. Let's get to another one because there's more. And, actually I got two more. 1, 2, 3, 3 more to go through. If we do all 3 of them, we may not. We may just do 2. I don't know, 2 more. We'll see. But this one I thought was, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this means. But it was a headline that came up and I'm like, what? What the hell does this mean? But you're going to find out, Jimmy. Because according to unexplained-mysteries.com, Space and astronomy, and I don't know how big this one is. No, it's good. Okay, the coronavirus pandemic changed the temperature of the moon.
Okay.
Does that even make sense to you?
I'm here for it. I'd like to see them show their work on this, but I'm in.
Show your work. You should have been a teacher. All right. In an unexpected discovery, it turns out that the lockdown actually had a measurable impact on the lunar surface. Ooh, color me confused. When millions of people across the world stayed home at the height of the pandemic in the 2020, the lack of activity worldwide combined to produce some unusual and unexpected effects. Now, according to a new study, one of these effects was the cooling of the surface of the moon. I'm not sure how this works, but let's see what's going on. Scientists in India's physical research laboratory in Ahmedabad, I guess, noted that the nighttime lunar surface temperature had significantly decreased during the height of lockdown in 2020. They determined that the most likely explanation for this anomalous dip was that the overall amount of heat and pollution produced by human civilization at night had reduced sufficiently enough to cause a notable drop in lunar surface temperature. Yeah, I'm not getting this at all. Isn't there like a vacuum of space between here and there?
That was going to be the only way I thought they were going to loop it back, and I'd still like to see more work on this.
Yeah, therefore, our study shows that the moon has possibly experienced the effect of COVID-19 lockdown, visualized as an anomalous decrease in lunar nighttime surface temperature during that period. There's no work getting shown here, Jimmy. Their findings are particularly interesting because they show just how much of an impact our activities here on Earth can actually have, even on other planetary bodies. In this work, we've utilized a rare and unique opportunity of COVID-19 to carry out our study, which may never occur again, the study authors wrote. It can be further substantiated from moon-based observatories in future as advocated by some researchers. How in the hell does our pollution here make the moon warmer?
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I don't.
At all.
Nature is healing.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, because it's not like there's a conduit sucking our air up to the moon and making it hotter, giving it more greenhouse gases or whatever. I mean, the only thing I could think of that might have some relevance to the temperature of the surface of the moon is how much light is being emitted down here, because, you know, during the lockdown, I'm sure things were darker because there wasn't as many lights going on, and that could possibly have, a heating effect on a close celestial body by some, small micro measurement, I imagine, but perhaps that, I don't know. But there's no way in hell that this is grounded in fact. I mean, there's just no concept where this could matter for the moon. Unless, I don't care how smart these people think they are. These are two disconnected ecosystems. I mean, certainly there's a shared gravitational influence, and there's, certainly light bodies and such are played out on both of our surfaces, but come on. That just doesn't make sense at all. That is a stretch. No. You're right, Batman. The moon wasn't wearing a mask, Sarah said. Yep, if you didn't mask up, probably lowers your
blasted with particles.
My God, that sounds like some World Health Organization propaganda there. I mean, it does to me.
Yeah. Is the moon, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the moon is more than 6 feet away from us.
Yeah, there's definitely enough social distancing going on there, Jimmy. I don't know how many, what is it, like 50,000 miles or something like that from us?
Oh, definitely safe.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't sneeze that hard, I don't think. So I don't get it. I don't get this at all. I don't get it. These people they gotta be on drugs, right?
Not the right ones, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Euro Bunyan says maybe the moon isn't what you think it is. Face orange raised eyebrow. Well, that's
Cheese?
it could be cheese. It could be. There could be the man on the moon. Yeah, I mean it's a celestial body, unless Okay, so there are those that say that there's a the Earth is flat and that there isn't really a moon as much as a projection of a moon or something. Some fabrication up there on the firmament as a manner of speaking, and I can't speak to that because honestly I don't subscribe to that thinking personally, and I'm not putting down anybody that does. I just don't personally. If you do believe the Earth is flat and that there's something else going on than what we traditionally believe, I can't argue with you because I'm not in that debate. It's just traditional physics for the most part for me, and so I assume that the moon is already atypical. It's like maybe it's a space station, maybe it's it's about 50 times bigger than it should be for our Earth body. It has an atypical orbit. It may actually predate the Earth in geological terms by millions of years. There's that argument. There's a lot of things about the moon that are very curious. And certainly when they did tests by dropping fuel modules during the Apollo missions, apparently it rang like a bell, which would seem to suggest that maybe it's hollow. I don't know. But at any case, I don't know. But there it is. I don't know. That just sounds like a whole bunch of almost like an encouragement for let's do more lockdowns. The moon needs us. It's up there sweating balls, Jimmy.
Yep, there's just too many of us. They just need to come out and say there's just way too many of us.
Yeah, I know. Well, doggone it. I don't think we're going anywhere. At least not by choice.
I don't think so. Nope, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too. Well, there you go. I didn't expect that story for sure. I didn't know what it was going to say, but now that I've read it, I feel like I had to surrender a bunch of brain cells on that one, Jimmy. I feel like my IQ dropped after reading that. I'm pretty sure that it might have.
We're all dumber for having heard it. May God have mercy on our souls.
Fly me to the moon. Let me sing among the stars. There you go. Well, if you do, it might be a little cooler than it was. Just saying. It might be. All right, here's another one. This one's kind of interesting, Jimmy. I did not know this. I thought it was kind of a done deal. But apparently is not. It's apparently not a done deal. What am I talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked, because what I'm talking about is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Science and Technology says Mount Everest is experiencing a growth spurt. Did you know that?
Again?
I guess so. I don't know. Let's see what it says. The majestic Himalayan mountain is not only growing, but has been doing so faster than normal for quite some time. There remains a few peaks on Earth that can match the breathtaking spectacle and challenging conditions of Everest, officially the world's tallest mountain. But while its claim to fame remains undisputed, exactly how tall Mount Everest actually is has long proven a bit challenged to measure accurately, not least because it keeps changing. Incredibly, Mount Everest is not only still getting taller, but is currently doing so at an accelerated rate. Conventionally, the mountain is getting taller because the event that created the Himalayas, the collision between the Indian subcontinent and the Eurasian tectonic plate, is still ongoing. More recently, geologically speaking at least, another factor has contributed to Everest's growth. Around 89,000 years ago, the upper reach of the Arun River merged with its lower reach, causing an increase in river erosion near the mountain and the formation of a gorge. The additional water flowing through the valley ultimately eroded the bedrock, causing an uplift of the surrounding land through a process known as isostatic rebound. Ooh, I sounded smart. As a result, Everest has been propelled upward further 0.166 millimeter to 0.53 millimeter a year. That's millimeters. Okay. That's not even one of those. So I think it's it sounds a lot more exciting than it actually is. According to researchers, however, this boost is to the mountain's height will only last until the river itself reaches a new equilibrium state. Well, there you go. Everest is slightly getting taller, but less than 1 millimeter a year. So not even a half a millimeter, right? What did it say? 0.16 to 0.53. Okay. So yeah, it's just a little over half a millimeter a year. I mean, that's just like this, right? Like when I'm holding up my hand, that's like a millimeter, right? It's just these dinky little things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how they got there because who noticed that?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, where did you, God, it looks like it's harder to get up now. Maybe it's growing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to measure again. This time I get to pick where the base is.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds like a locker room talk to me. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Jimmy. But I got another article here. You ready for another article?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I got one more for you. And this is some weird underwater thing that was recorded, and I don't think it's necessarily cryptid-esque. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's not that. I don't think it's just maybe a new thing that they found. All right, let's check it out. I haven't read it, so we're going to read it together from the Nature and Environment section of unexplained-mysteries.com. Incredible alien-like deep-sea creature filmed in the Tonga Trench. Look at that. It looks like it's got fishing poles. This creature was filmed over 3,000 feet beneath the sea. It's got to be some kind of... Is that an octopi or a jellyfish, or what the hell would that be? I don't know. Let's see it.
Some kind of underwater spider?
Yeah, almost, right? It's weird, though. It's like got some going down here and then a bunch dragging behind. Yeah, that's got to be a jellyfish thing, right? Captivating footage captured during a deep-sea expedition shows a very unusual-looking creature. The clip, which comes courtesy of the Mindiru UWA Deep Sea Research Center, was filmed during a recent expedition to the depths of the Tonga Trench in the South Pacific Ocean. Well, at first, there doesn't seem to be anything there, but then a strange shape begins to emerge from the gloom. A cephalopod with 13-foot tentacles, which act almost like legs as it moves through the water. Ooh, legs, almost. Those are some huge legs. The species, the big fin squid, it's a squid, Jimmy, is the deepest dwelling of its kind known to science, and this particular example was filmed approximately 3,300 feet beneath the surface of the sea. There's certainly something otherworldly about the way it emerges from the gloom and glides across the seabed. Almost like a ghost or something out of War of the Worlds movie. We always hope to see this type of animal, Professor Alan Jameson told Live Science. Bigfin squid are not something you would actively go looking for. They're a species that relies on us coming across them by accident. You can check out the footage for yourself below. Do you want to see that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I think we should. All right, folks.
I've never seen this creature.
I haven't either, but it looks really funky. Let's check it out. Here we go. It's kind of muted, so let me blow this up. Oh, my computer's so tired. Okay. It's playing. Allegedly. Yeah, there's things moving. That fish is moving or something there. Whatever the hell that is. Oh, here it comes. Look at that creepy deal. It does look like the War of the Worlds thing, doesn't it?
Ew.
Ew.
Quite a disturbing cephalopod.
I know. It looks like it's looking like, yeah. And it's got those strings coming out, like up here, they got those strings. What the hell are those, right? It's almost like a fishing line, though.
Well, I hate it.
Jimmy's vote hates it.
I love the ocean to about 20 feet. That's about where I cut it off. Anything deeper than that, I can do without.
Look at that, though. Isn't that creepy looking? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, like he got a bite. What's going on there? Oh, he got a bite. Maybe. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Hungry little bugger.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he's just getting the hell out of there. It's like, what is that thing? He's fighting against a current, though, it looks like. He's like, yeah. Look at that hair, though. Bet you conditions, huh, Jimmy?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's one.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Just saying. Never know. That's really bizarre. Never saw nothing like that before. There we go. Now you've seen it, folks. You may never saw that before. There it goes. See, the tentacles turn blue. Did they? I didn't see them turn blue. I guess I just got more in the light, so I didn't notice the actual hue change other than moving from shadow to more direct light. But maybe they did, Jim or Chucky. Maybe they did. All right. Well, ooh. I think that's going to do it for the news. Jimmy, you feel informed?
I feel informed. Elaine just said most shark attacks happen in 4 foot of water. So I amended my previous statement. 4 feet, I'm done. 3 feet, that's all I need out of the ocean.
2.5, probably yep. 2.5. Yeah, see the tentacles turn blue. Maybe they did. Jimmy, most shark attacks happen in 4 feet of water. You're right. You did say that. Yep. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. I don't know. I just saw a video, which is really bizarre. I don't know. It's sometimes like you think of things like sharks and you think, oh, just mindless eating machines. You know, they just swim along and find stuff to chew on. And by and large, I'd say you're usually right. But I just watched a video where it looked like this shark, I think it was a tiger shark, looked like it was like attacking a sea turtle near a boat. So it's like this shark is there. And in his mouth is this sea turtle, which is kind of paddling. And it's like, oh, that's too bad. It's kind of sad. Poor sea turtle never had a chance. But the shark starts pointing the turtle towards the boat and like is trying to push it onto the swim platform on the back.
Help me take out this boat.
It's strategy. Yeah. He was the reconnaissance. But anyway, so they get the turtle up and they realize it's tangled in these nets. And it's choking it and stuff. And so they cut all this off of this turtle. And then they realized that the shark was actually pushing this turtle to get it help. Right?
That's pretty crazy.
Right. I mean, come on. I got to see if I can find that. I should see.
It seems like the ocean and the creatures have decided it's them against us in the last 2 years.
Yeah, they're joining forces, Jimmy. They're joining
all
forces.
Orcas attacking boats.
Yeah, I know, right? It's strange. Very, very strange stuff. But yeah, they're like aiming towards the rudders and stuff just to disable them. And yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff. Your favorite Shadow Lord has arrived. Yes. Yep. Squid Man, new superhero, probably. Where's an orca when you need one? I might have to go use the loo. I'm kind of overly hydrated, Jimmy. But I think that's going to wrap up the news. What do you think?
I'm in. I can keep everyone entertained if you'd like. I don't know how to juggle, but I don't see why I can't try.
You want to try? If I go use the loo, you're going to keep people occupied, Jimmy?
Yeah. I'll just talk to the chat. What have you guys been up to?
All right. Well, I will go close the news here and bring you back up. I'll put you on full screen and I'll mute and go use the loo, and then I'll be right back. Casey Jones. I touched the butt in Finding Nemo. He touched the butt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for the news, and I'm going to hand it over to your tonight's favorite co-host and mine, Mr. Jimmy Cipriano. There you go, Jimmy.
Oh, hey, guys.
It's all you. I'll be right back.
Dad jokes. Do I have any dad jokes? I have a bunch of dad jokes, but my dad's really inappropriate, so I don't know if I can say any of them.
Yeah, don't get me demonetized while I'm gone, please.
No, I won't. I won't. Let's see. Actually, I got one. Anybody, it's not a dad joke, but this is just a problem in my own life. As it is October 2nd today, I've got to think of a Halloween costume. Anybody got any ideas? I got wizard, vault dweller. That's what I'm coming up on right now. Oh, that's about it. Wizard, vault dweller. It's always sunny in Philadelphia character. Chuck Norris jokes. When Chuck Norris does a push up, he's not pushing himself up. He's pushing the world down, which might explain the Everest increase. Kind of. Gnome. Gnome is a solid one. Wookie. Oh, I could totally do a Wookie. Yeah, if you guys saw my chest hair, you'd know how much money I'd save on a costume. Let's see. Oh, Wizard Moon. Yeah, Wizard's just a solid costume. My favorite band. Oh, I don't know. Cheap Trick? What's a ghost favorite drink? A spirit. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. Dad jokes. Now, just the inappropriate ones are coming to mind. He really did a number on my dad jokes. Walton Goggins Ghoul. I want to do that one so bad, but I do not have the prowess with makeup. What do you call a noodle? A fake noodle. An impasta. Oh, I got one. What's a pirate's favorite letter? Did you say R? You'd think so, but it really be the C. Oh, that's the most dad joke I think I have in my repertoire.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh, I can ask you now, Brent. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You'd think so, but it really be the C.
Hurry, you scurvy landlubbers.
Oh, they be more of guidelines, really. What are you doing?
I have no idea, Jimmy. I've been asking myself that question since I started the portal. What should be doing? I'm a social drinker. Someone says, I'll have a drink, and I say, so shall I.
That's a good one.
I got that from World of Warcraft. Back from the dwarves. It were the dwarves. What? What's Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one. Wow. We should do joke night more often, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was asking what I should be for Halloween. Got some solid ones. Wookiee came up. That's a good one.
A Wookiee.
I don't know if you guys know this. I love Halloween. It's my most powerful time of the year.
Is it? Yeah, I bet.
The veil is the thinnest.
It is the thinnest, they say. There's some people that maintain that it's actually thinning up till the Yule season, believe it or not. But I've always been more of the Celtic idea that it is the Samhain festival, the harvest moon. All right.
I love it.
I love it too. I love this season. I don't love the getting colder part, but I love the idea that, we're heading into, the thinning, and it always feels more magical this time of year. But
oh yeah, this is absolute. You got any decorations up?
Have you seen my studio?
Other than just the normal ones?
It's Halloween all year here, buddy. No, I don't really decorate too much outside. I'm just always working here on the studio and propping stuff up. So, when's the last time you saw the studio, Jimmy?
Just on the shows. I haven't seen it in person.
So I'm always updating. Like I got the newer candles now, and I got the old man over here, and I got a couple. I got this lit up X-ray of a skull here, and then there's a lantern up here which batteries are off. So I'm always updating the feel of the portal.
Oh my God! Next time you're in town, I'll do a swap with you. I think half of my basement is probably Halloween decorations.
Oh, I love it.
I'll pick one out for you.
What do you want to swap for?
Surprise me. I don't even know. I'll pick something good. I'll pick some of my my backstash. I'm in over my head at this point. It's taken me probably like 2 weeks to even attempt decorating.
Yeah, I know. And Barbara says, I love the X-ray. Yeah, I do too. That was a gift from a friend of mine down in Idaho Falls, Mr. Josh Bladzik. They have Curios and Curiosities is I think is their business name, but they deal in all kinds of strangeness. Like he's got a collection of thousands of like masks, like Halloween masks, and then he has like different props from sideshows and stuff around the world, like a two-headed piglet and stuff like that that's stuffed, and a big ostrich that's stuffed. He's got a crazy place. It's awesome. I loved it there.
That's awesome.
And he's got like Egyptian artifacts too that were he kind of acquired from people, maybe, so they're pretty cool. All of them are.
The Egyptian ones are so cool, but I'm worried that anything I would ever touch from ancient Egypt would immediately curse me.
Well, you're already blessed. Why not be a little cursed as well?
I love that.
All right, so we're going to get to an article here, and then we're going to get into drawing a couple winners from the T-shirt drawing on Discord. So first of all, I'm going to pull up this article. I've got to figure out how to make my computer happier. I'm asking too much of it. Jimmy, I'm asking too much of this computer. All right.
Oh, I don't know. Mine's on one leg right now, so.
Well, it still works and it's still streaming now. So, but this article is coming from the amazing site Phantoms and Monsters, which if you're familiar with the show, you're familiar with Phantoms and Monsters because it's a site we utilize pretty much on most shows. Most shows we utilize it. And this was kind of a cool story. And it's just kind of an oddity story. I don't know. I've only read the headline of it. So it's not really a cryptid story. It's not really a creature story. It's kind of a strange phenomena, maybe spiritual story. So let's dive into this. And this is Lon Strickler's site, amazing site. Check it out. There is tons of encounter reports on here. There is research teams that Lon works with around the country, digging into many of these phenomena and actual responding to claims and cases as they come in. So it's fantastic. Lon has a lot of published works himself as an author, and you can find out about those on phantomsandmonsters.com and Lon's own podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. And that is also a YouTube channel. So find Phantoms and Monsters Radio. Lon does live streams talking about a lot of these stories. So he's the guy that wrote them. Definitely worth looking into. So here it is. Here's the story for our show right now. And this is young couple seen ascending and then vanish into the night sky. You don't hear about that every day, Jimmy.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. But is it a stairway to heaven, or were they some kind of alien visitors, or what the hell's going on? I don't know. Let's see what it says. A store owner had just let his last customers out the door while closing shop. He watched the couple dancing in the parking lot as he left. Then the couple ascended into the air and disappeared.
Okay, can I make a prediction?
Sure.
This is the ending of Grease.
It's the word that you heard. It's got mood, it's got feeling. All right. God, that's stuck in my head. Thank you, Jimmy. I just you're the one that I want. Oh God, that whole soundtrack's bouncing through my skull now. All right. I was telling my grandma about some stories I've heard on your podcast at dinner last night. And she told me a story from a candy shop owner in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's always bought stuff for Christmas and Christmas treat baking. Well, they're pretty close friends, and I guess he had some encounter with what he called flying humans last year. He was just closing up for the night when this teenage couple walked up and begged him to open back up so they could buy some candy. Well, he's not made of stone, so he let them in to buy a late night treat. So they come in and buy a huge amount of candy. Their money was good, so he didn't question it. Well, the boy was a thin, tan-skinned teenage boy with brown eyes and dark brown hair in a slightly outgrown pixie cut. He wore a brown beanie, a Johnny Gilbert hoodie. I don't know what that means. What's a Johnny Gilbert hoodie? Do you recognize that?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Okay. And some boots. Well, the girl was a thin teenage girl with pale skin, bright green eyes, and a pink dyed hair up in 2 hair buns. And she was wearing a black backpack. And she was dressed in an Aqua Teen Hunger Force, some tattered and ripped up jeans, and a pair of Crocs. Wow. That's quite a fashion-forward idea there.
They both jumped out of Hot Topic.
So the kind old man led them back in the outside and bid them good nights. And he was heading around to the side of the building to his car, which made him out of sight, but not out of sight for him to see the parking lot. Well, he was looking back and saw the girl pocket the candy in the black backpack, and she then fished out a Bluetooth speaker and placed it on the ground. Well, I guess the speaker started playing Zombie by Johnny Gilbert. Don't know what that sounds like. I guess Johnny Gilbert must be an act then. Okay. And he held one hand behind and one hand out for her to take. And they began twirling this way around the parking lot in a little romantic dance under the streetlights, stopping every so often to give each other Eskimo kisses. Aw, that's so sweet. Well, he was gushing a little bit at the young love, remembering how he used to do sweet things like that with his wife when they were younger. What he saw next, he said about gave him a heart attack. Well, they stopped to pick up the Bluetooth speaker, which was now playing Magic Dance by David Bowie, still hugging each other. They began to walk off. But he said with each step they took, they began walking on literal air. It wasn't like floating, but like they were walking on invisible stairs. And they walked off like this into the night sky until they disappeared out of view, and he couldn't hear the music anymore. Ooh, what do you think of that?
That's interesting. I don't know why. I was expecting more, but that's interesting.
You'd think like a beam would come down and they would ascend into the sky. But no, they just kind of like walked up these unseen stairs. I wonder if they walked up to the ship that they parked there and they were actually not human beings.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. I don't know how else to say it, unless they were just some kind of angelic duo that was coming to slum it with us for a night or two. I don't know. Very strange. But they gave each other Eskimo kisses. That's kind of sweet, right?
Yeah, that's adorable.
The rubbing of the nose thing. Yeah. So that's, I don't know what to make of that. That's very strange. I mean, sure, I don't doubt that it could have happened. It's just an unusual story. What were they? Were they human? Were they not human? Were they dead? Were they angelic or transdimensional, or what the hell were they? Or were they from the magical world of Harry Potter?
Ooh.
Visiting us muggles. I'm just saying. Could be. What do you think?
I like to believe that one.
I like that one too.
Yeah, because that one insinuates that somewhere my admission letter to Hogwarts is still floating around.
Did you send one, seriously, when you were little?
I didn't send one. I just really wanted to get one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think we all did. I think we all lament the fact that it was just a book and movie. But maybe it's real somewhere. Now, I do know someone that went to when the first movie came out. And this was a lady I knew. And she swears up and down this was her experience. She went to the movie. And she said that there was like a row of these smaller people. But they were all wearing like robes. They were all wearing like these hoodie robes. But they were like midget size. I don't mean any offense by that, but like little people size. And they watched the movie, and then towards the end, they just kind of got up in a group when it was just about over, like the final credits thing were happening or just about to happen. And they all filed out and just kind of left. But she said that it was like she was the only one that could see them. Like nobody else even acknowledged that they were there or turned their head, and she just watched them get up and leave the theater. So maybe there is a world alongside of ours. I mean, we've often talked about that on the show, as far as there being frequency, and we are tuned to one frequency, and perhaps there's a much larger spectrum of frequency where things may exist in that can perhaps be in our experience and then be outside of our experience. I don't know. I like that idea though.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I just love the idea that there's still magic in the world. So that's what this stuff all demonstrates to me anyway. It's Tangled, Unsolved Mystery Soundtracks. What are you guys talking about in the chat? I love metal.
Oh,
they're doing music.
Unsolved Mysteries. Chucky was saying that there's a sick metal cover. He's going to post it in the group chat or in the Discord of the Unsolved Mysteries theme song.
Nice, Chucky. Well, way to represent, dude. Way to represent. So, and in fact, I think Netflix is doing another season of that show. So
that's what he just said. It came out. I was saying I've already binged it. It's amazing.
Oh, you have? Wow.
Yeah, and I was saying too, I know the title is Unsolved Mysteries. I'm always at the end, I'm like, oh, they didn't solve it.
So is truth in naming. Yeah.
Just more questions.
Just more questions, Jimmy. And that's the story of my life. More questions. But you know what I got a question of? I'm wondering, Jimmy, right now, as we're sitting here, I've got this deep question burning a hole in my soul. Do you know what that is?
I want to know. I'm here for it.
I want to know who's going to win a t-shirt from our Discord server.
Oh, I want to know. I want to know so bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Discord t-shirt giveaway. I think I could use this. It's almost like a question of the week, but this is the only Discord prompt I have, so we're going to use it. It's not a question of the week. The question is, who's getting the t-shirts? So we're going to figure that out right now. Are you ready, Jimmy?
I'm ready.
Sorry, I just love that echoey thing. That echoey part sucks me in every time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to figure out which among you of our Discord family members is going to win a t-shirt. Now, as I said, we're going to give away 2 of them tonight from our Discord community. So I hope you all are paying attention. I don't know how many of you are here, but I did put out a notice in Discord to come watch the live show because we're doing the drawing right here live tonight. So it's on the screen. I've loaded up all the names that entered in the chat in the giveaway group or the giveaway thread on our Discord server. These are the names right here. And if you watch the last live show when I did t-shirt giveaways, it's going to work a lot the same. But there's a lot more names here. So I'm going to shuffle these names, not once, not just twice, but 3 times. The magic of 3s, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do it right now. So are you guys ready? Are you ready? Because it's time.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Are all of you ready? Because it's time. Those of you in the chat, are you paying attention? Because
Planet X just donated $5.
Woo! Planet X.
Woo!
It's time. Thank you so much, Planet X. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. So now we're going to do the giveaway, and I hope you guys are ready because it's happening right now. 2 shirts given away. Way to represent. Hi, Sarah in disguise. Are you ready, Jimmy?
I'm ready.
I'm making about as big a deal out of this as I possibly can. Trying to do the suspense. I don't have a drum roll, but
I can only do it for so long.
All right, here we go. Here's the first spin for a t-shirt giveaway on our Discord server. And if you want to be involved in any of these, ladies and gentlemen, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You might just have to learn how to use Discord if you've never used it before. But I promise you, it's not a tough program to use. It's just a little awkward. So there are tutorials in there, just so you really know. Did he give
is that another 5?
I guess so.
Planet
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. All right, the first spin of 2 is happening now. Eric Purple Hobbit, you have won a shirt. I'm going to write this down. All right, let me do this right here. Discord. Eric Purple Hobbit. Whoops, Purple Hobbit. I think we should just have a one word name convention. Gets a lot of writing. All right, so that's the first one. We got him. He's on there. Eric, congratulations. You have won a shirt. And let me know. Direct message me in Discord with your size and name and mailing address, and I will send it to you. I promise you that information will always remain absolutely confidential. So let me take his name out of here. Whoops. There you go. One more down. Let's take that out. Boom. Okay. So we got one more roll to go. And here we go. This is to make up for all the times that I didn't do giveaways just because I absolutely couldn't. And I'm making it up to you as best I can. I did 3 giveaways for our YouTube community and 2 now for our Discord. So I'm going to shuffle it not once, not just twice, but 3 times. All right. Are you ready for the next one, Jimmy?
I'm so ready.
Jimmy is so ready. The guy is just a bundle of nerves waiting to hear this.
I'm on pins and needles.
I'm on pins and needles. Here we go. Here comes the second spin of the night for our Discord community. Oh, our very own Rachel 101. Rachel gets it right. Congratulations.
Yeah, you got it right.
You did get it right, Rachel. All right. Congratulations to our winners. God bless you. You won yourself a shirt. All right. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much for entering. Again, we'll do this monthly as much as we can. Probably only one shirt each now because I'm going to go broke giving away shirts. But you got a shirt. So, Rachel, send me your size and a mailing address, and I will send it off to you as quickly as I know how. And that may not be instant, just so you know, but it'll be sometime in the near future. I'm not always good at remembering this stuff as my dates chew forward. But that is the Discord giveaways for the T-shirts. Rachel and Eric, congratulations. And our 3 winners last week, one of which was Grandizer. The other was Aussie Tiger and Annie Manu. So there's 5 T-shirts given away because there's all kinds of love for you guys. So there you go. That is the Discord T-shirt giveaway. I think that was fun.
I like that.
You what?
I like that. Sorry, my old back is cracking. I don't know if you guys heard it.
No, I just didn't. You just had it broken up. When you talk, it was very broken up. So, all right. There we go. All right. Now we are going to dive into the creatures, Jimmy. It's time to dive into the creatures. Take a little drink, a libation of your choice. Cleanse the palate because it's going to be time for me to do a lot of reading. And by God, that's what we're going to do right now because we are going to be diving into the Crypted Corner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Cryptid Corner as we dive into more of these creature reports dealing with Bigfoot, Dogman, rakes, strangeness of all kinds, sometimes fae, sometimes gnomes, all the kinds of different things that are not substantiated by science, but we all know it's out there anyway. We don't need their permission to believe, right, Jimmy?
No, absolutely not. They can't take that from me.
They cannot take away our faith, Jimmy, our belief. We choose to believe, and no amount of science or medicine is going to change that. Torture might, but that's not on the table, so we're good. All right, let's get to this. This is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen. Special thanks always to Grateful Owl for putting together that little transition for us. That still remains epic and awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to dive in, starting with an amazing site that is operated by Mr. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles. So we're going to be starting off with SasquatchChronicles.com in the blog and read some of the listener emails that were submitted that Wes posted. And I don't know about you, but I love these emails because I've always been saying since starting the show, it's like, there are lots of really over-the-top incredible reports. And those are amazing in their own right. They are supercharged emotionally. They are terrifying in some cases, or absolutely beyond reasoning amazing. But I like all of the reports, including the less sensational reports that are still showing the people's encounters. I think that is the big thing, because you think of these things, and maybe these things, these cryptids as we know them, are remnants of our ancestors' folklores that really do exist. Like, I often think about like Bigfoot. It's a worldwide phenomena, but there are lots of stories and tales that have been handed down through different cultures around the world dealing with these things and the many names that they're known as. But I often think about things like trolls. Could that possibly be like some form of Bigfoot? That they come up from these dark places and they may grab people, the old troll under the bridge thing, taking the kids as they cross the bridge. So I think that some of these legendary stories of like trolls and goblins and any other form of these, legendary folklore tales may have to do with these encounters with these kind of cryptids. But what do you think of that idea, Jimmy?
Yeah, I like that idea. I think it's interesting to kind of think of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Evolution.
Yeah.
When you think of cryptids.
Yep. And it is like an evolution of an idea, right? Because I've always thought that every legend, it's not unique to me, but I like this idea that every legend has some origin. There's some way that this legend started, or these folklores started. There's something that happened that was so far outside of people's ability to define it that it created these incredible tales. And certainly they're all prone to embellishment and prone to exaggeration, as always happens. But at the root of it, there was some event that happened that the people who experienced it, or the peoples that experienced it, they couldn't put it into any other terms. So it became something of its own, and certainly that would be the case for like goblins and trolls and all these other things, whether those are, the gnomes, the fae, all of these strange things, sylphs, dryads, mermaids, mermen, all of these things from our legends probably have a root in some fact, or at least some experience that really did happen. So let's dive into this, since, and the reason I brought that up, I guess, is because I was still kind of in Harry Potter land in my mind. When you look at the Harry Potter movies, all of the things that are mentioned in those books, the Grindylows, the hippogriffs, all of these things were a part of legend and folklore. And so perhaps there is some nugget of truth for them. So at any rate, I don't know. That's just me.
That's a Hungarian horn tale. Yes.
Dragons. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Well, let's get started. This one's from October 1st. Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Please check it out. Please visit the site. Bizarre experience while visiting Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Now, Vancouver Island has been kind of a hot spot for Bigfoot sightings for a long time. With the First Nations on, it's just been one of those locations that's pretty much synonymous for Bigfoot activity. But let's see what it says. A listener writes, I was very recently had some very bizarre experiences I'd like to share with you. I'm not sure they're worth featuring on your show, but I'll leave that up to you. My experiences took place while visiting Vancouver Island, British Columbia with my wife and daughter. We live in Ontario and have always wanted to see the West Coast. Well, this year was our 10th wedding anniversary, so we decided it was time. Although I didn't get a clear view of what I saw, I believe it could very well have been a Sasquatch. The events before and after the sighting seemed to point there. Everything happened in the hamlet of Shirley, or on southern Vancouver Island, where we'd rented a cottage for our holiday. The first incident was rather minor, but still unnerving. It happened on September 28th. My wife, Edita, our 7-year-old daughter Lily, and I were exploring a beach just up the road from our cottage called Muir Creek Beach, and it's mostly cobblestone with large driftwood logs washed up here and there, and a very steep tree-top bluff of sedimentary rock about 40 feet from the water's edge, depending on the tide. And it was mid-afternoon and sunny, and Lily and I were playing, climbing the remains of a large cedar tree that had washed up on its side of the shore, on shore a long time ago by the looks of things, with most of its root system was still intact, and there was no one else around at the time. Once Lily and I had clambered atop the trunk, we nestled into the roots of this driftwood tree, pretending that it was a fort. Well, suddenly, I heard the sharp noise of a stone hitting the tree, hard. It sounded like it had struck the wood exactly opposite to where Lily was nestled, among the roots. If it hadn't been for the trunk shielding her, it seemed like it would have hit her. A second or so later, I saw the stone roll down the side of the tree we were sitting on. It must have ricocheted off the side it hit and bounced over the trunk to our side. It rolled down the trunk and hit the cobblestone beach below us. I picked it up, and it was round, white, and about the diameter of a quarter. I knew immediately it had been thrown rather than rolling down the steep tree-covered bluff above us and falling onto the driftwood tree. Gravity alone would not have propelled it nearly fast enough to make the loud cracking noise that I heard. My wife was about 30 feet away at the time, with her back to us, wading in the surf, so I know she hadn't thrown the stone. I had a good view down the beach in both directions, and there was no cover, nor any other people in sight. The only place I could see where the stone could have been thrown was from the dense tree and bush cover atop the steep bluff directly over our heads. I couldn't see anyone up there, and it was extremely steep and brushy. I doubt a human could have even gotten up there, let alone hidden themselves, and whipped a pebble at us extremely hard from up above. All the same, I was a bit angry at the time, thinking somehow a person was up there and was responsible, so I peppered the bluff with rocks of my own, hoping to flush out the culprit. No response. The more I thought about the stone-throwing incident as the day continued, the more the idea that it could have been a Sasquatch entered my mind. I was aware that Vancouver Island is known as a Sasquatch hotspot prior to our trip. Being a fan of Sasquatch investigation, your show, and cryptids in general, the thought of potentially having my own encounter was in the back of my mind from day one. I'd also spoken with the owner of the cottage who lived a stone throw away. Sorry. From where we were staying and kept chickens and goats. And he warned me of strange things being known to happen in and around the surrounding woods.
Scent.
What's it say? Scent. Mm-hmm. It says scent.
Scent?
S-E-N-T. That rock was sent, I guess.
Send it.
It did. It sure did. So he spoke of losing goats in years past and warned me that if I decided to walk in the thick woods across the road from the cottage, to keep my wits about me. Well, naturally, this got me curious, but I put my curiosity in the back burner for most of our holiday as we played tourists. Then the rock throwing incident happened, and it got me thinking about Bigfoot again. The night after the incident, I decided to take a walk in the woods our host had warned me about. Well, there you go. Just go right in there. Just go after it. You're on holiday. Nothing's going to hurt you. In the dark, even, Jimmy. He went in the dark. Oof. So he's already wary of these woods, and then he's just going to choose to adventure in there during the dark.
He sees a red flag and he just steers right into it like a bull.
I'm going in. Hang on. With only my phone light to guide me, a dumb idea in hindsight. Yeah, that's like on the cover of Dumb Ideas. But the rock throwing event and our host comments had lit a fire of my curiosity. I crossed the road and walked straight into the forest, navigating over thick ferns and fallen trees. And it was an extremely dense forest with moss on most of the trees. Well, I made it about 100 yards in when I heard a noise. And it was like a combination of a man clearing his throat deeply and an animal growling. It sounded like it was coming from 60 to 80 yards further into the forest than my location. It wasn't particularly loud, but quite noticeable. I stood still for several seconds, scared and listening for more noise. I was thinking it could be a bear or perhaps even a buck. And then I heard a different sound coming from roughly the same spot. The creaking sound of wood fibers in a tree trunk being twisted. It was a sound I'd heard before while walking through the forest near my home during strong winds. The sound of trees bending and swaying. Trouble was, there was no wind that night, not even a breeze. And the sound was only of one tree bending, not multiple trees. Well, I got spooked at that point and got out of there fast, heading back to our cottage. The following day, I regained my courage and decided to take another walk into the same patch of woods. I've since looked at Google Maps, and this particular area of forest continues for many miles. The road our cottage was on is the only road in the area, and I found my way back to roughly where I was standing when I heard the sounds the night before, and then decided to hike in a little further to where I thought the grunt, growl, and tree twisting noises had come from. Well, I was about 150 yards into the forest, getting close to where I thought the sounds had originated, when I looked ahead and I saw a fallen tree. It looked like a healthy balsam fir. Fresh needles still on its branches, about 30 feet tall, and the diameter of my thigh near the base. That's a lot of tree. I don't know unless he's got really small thighs. I'm not sure what we're dealing with here, Jimmy. You might have been skipping leg day for all we know. I'm just saying. I remember accounts I've heard of Sasquatches pushing down trees and started to get both scared and intrigued. The tree seemed to be in the exact area I'd heard the grunt growl and the wood twisting noise the night before. Well, I tried not to jump to conclusions because I grew up in and around the woods, and no seemingly healthy trees can fall down of their own for several reasons. I just decided to walk closer and get a better look at the tree. I was still maybe 30 yards from it when I noticed the thick covering of ferns and brambles around me seemed to part just ahead and form a natural trail. It was wide and defined enough that I thought it might have been man-made at first. Then I noticed a few smaller ferns growing in the middle of it and realized it looked natural after all. No evidence of any chainsaw use. While looking down at this naturally occurring trail, I suddenly noticed a large, deep depression in the ground right in the middle of it. It was slightly longer and wider than my shoe clad foot, about 3 inches deep, and it appeared very fresh. The surrounding earth was covered in leaves and needles, but inside the impression was more bare, although not completely. There were fresh sprinklings of soil outside the impression, mostly behind it. And it wasn't very distinct, no obvious toe or heel marks, just this deep, fairly large, roughly rectangular impression in the forest floor. Only one, too, not a string of them, as one would expect if it was a footprint. Well, this increased my curiosity, so I started to walk closer to the tree. And that's when I caught a small flash of movement straight ahead, a little to the right of the fallen tree and about 80 yards beyond it. My first thought was that it was a root ball. I couldn't see it very well through the thick foliage, but it looked like one of those oval-shaped black masses of earth clinging to the roots of a fallen tree. Trouble was, I was pretty sure I just saw it move into a more densely covered area of bush. I waited for a few seconds before whipping out my phone and getting a video of it. It didn't move again. I started to worry it was a bear or possibly a Sasquatch, although it looked more hill-like than man-like. Well, I left the woods quickly with my heart pounding and without examining the fallen tree more closely. I was shaken by this experience and decided to call my dad back in Ontario and tell him the whole story. I just wanted to get it off my chest. The more I talked, the more intrigued he seemed to get. When I finished, he asked if I was going to go back, and he said it would be good to examine the fallen tree more closely to see if it had simply rotted internally or had come down for more mysterious reasons. He also suggested I examine the trunk for bear claw or scratches. I was kind of surprised by his enthusiasm. The conversation bolstered my courage, and I decided to go back one more time the following day. Well, I hiked back to the same spot and noticed right away the hill-like object was gone. And that's when I knew it hadn't been a root ball. And this scared me. But I told myself it was probably a bear and more likely returned to the same area 2 days in a row, and wouldn't likely return to the same area 2 days in a row. And of course, I knew in the back of my mind it could well have been a Sasquatch, but I was trying not to think about that just to keep myself calm. I could hear birds chirping. Almost said bears chirping nearby, and that gave me courage since I'd heard that when these creatures are around, everything goes quiet. Well, this time I walked right up to the fallen balsam, and I noticed a faint but noticeably foul smell in the air, like something had died nearby but had mostly decomposed already. The balsam was pushed over right at ground level and had some roots exposed, and I looked at the roots and trunk closely, and they seemed very sound. No telltale softness of rotten wood, and there was lots of fresh green needles on its branches too, like it had just come down very recently. The trunk had no bear claw scratches that I could see. Coming closer to the balsam this time also allowed me to catch sight of another fallen tree almost directly beneath it and lying in the same direction, a birch. It was about as tall as the balsam but slightly thicker, and it appeared to have been felled earlier too, since although it had many leaves still attached to its branches, they were all brown and withered, and the thing I found most intriguing was the base of the trunk, and it was broken, not cut or pushed over with roots intact, but splintered unevenly with no stump or roots anywhere in sight. It appeared to have been snapped off some distance above the ground and then dragged to this spot. What's more, the splintered wood of the trunk where it had been broken was completely sound, rock solid with zero rot. Although I didn't have a clear sighting, everything I experienced during our trip seems to point towards something unusual in those woods. I spent a lot of time in forests and know how to explain most natural occurrences, but this was different. I don't know if it was a Sasquatch, but I can't shake the feeling that it was. Yikes. What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the all of it seems like this person did everything they could to kind of just get in the way.
Get in the way of what?
Uh, just in general, just in general, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, it's ballsy as hell though. Because I keep thinking of what do we know about them, and the truth of the matter is we know almost nothing about them. I mean, other than a few observed behaviors and maybe some patterning that we've picked up from anecdotal evidence, but they leave prints, they break stuff, they don't seem to like us around, and they avoid us. And so, but other than that, you don't know what you're poking. You just don't know whether, and there's the possibility that maybe most of them are real peaceful. I hope so. I love that idea, but there's also plenty of stories of them not being peaceful and people having horrorful.
So sorry, go on.
No, and people just having horrifying experiences.
Yeah, and I like the rock throwing. I feel like the rock throwing for the most part is more of a I feel like they're not bad at aim. I feel like they're warnings.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Like we don't want you here. We don't want you here. You can go now. And who knows? I mean, I don't think that it's just arbitrary territorial kind of activity. I think that, I mean, these things are scratching out a life on the world around them. And when we come into those areas, we're probably interrupting that a lot. And I mean, they've got to have pretty incredible caloric intake needs. Being that big, that strong, they probably have to hit a certain calorie marker every day just to remain healthy. And then we come along with the kids and, digging clams in the shore and throwing rocks and stuff. It's like, that was lunch. What are you doing? Get out of here. So, I mean, it might be more, look, we're trying to survive and you're really getting in the way. You need to go. I don't think that it's necessarily like malicious, but it's just necessary. Like they just need us to move just so they can continue to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I like to. I mean that's what I think. I don't know. Not that
You're
anybody
in my
knows.
kitchen, and I'd like you to leave so I can eat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the tide's out, the clams are up. We got to eat. Get out of here. I mean, it could be a whole family group. We don't know. So I don't know. I mean, it's speculative on my part too, but it seems to make sense that, they may not have a lot of options. I don't know how big Vancouver Island is, but I'm sure it's plenty big, but who knows how many are subsisting on that island. And it might not be just like, well, there's a line at Kroger's, so let's head over to Walmart instead. They don't have that option. They can't just, well, this is too expensive here. Let's go to the other store. It was on sale. That's it. They gotta get food where it happens. So
there's a bunch of kids at this one. We should go somewhere else.
I just don't like the crowd here. Let's go somewhere else. Yeah, it's like, no, you got to go where the food is. So
Let's
I think
go to the good Applebee's.
Yeah. Rachel says, humans stomping around, scaring mice and other quick snacks away from their areas. Yeah, I mean, God, when we go into places, we are absolutely out of our element. And I'm sure, everything in nature knows to stay the hell away from us. There's a reason squirrels don't come up and want to get petted very often,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
They know that generally speaking, things get hurt around us. So they avoid us. So when we're there, they run away. All right. Well, that was the first story. How are we doing for time? God, it's already 8:42, Jimmy. Where'd the night go?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
This is the only part of my day that has gone quickly. Everything else is just crept on by.
It's just been on a suck factor of 10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that this is going quickly because that must mean you're having fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, right at my ad, it's October, spooky season. I'm ready to go.
This is it. This is definitely portal weather.
Oh yeah.
It's the season for the portal. All right, well, let's go to another one from Sasquatch Chronicles, and then we'll move into some Phantoms and Monsters if we have time. I don't know how long this one is. No, it's pretty short. It's pretty short. So this one actually is from Sasquatch Chronicles, but it sounds like more of a Dogman kind of report. And this is, God, okay, so here's the thing. I don't know which creature is more dangerous as far as which one is a more lethal one. I keep seeing discussions on groups all over like, oh, if a Bigfoot a Bigfoot and a Dogman faced off, X would definitely win. Well, who knows, first of all, but I don't know which would win. I've heard stories of both, honestly.
Dogman seems angry.
Yeah, and you know what? You're absolutely correct that most Dogman encounters are much more aggressive and assertive. Like a dog, like a Bigfoot will intimidate you, but from a distance. But Dogmen seem to have no problem getting right up in your face and just looking at you like they want to eat your flesh. Just like, that's just horrifying experiences. And I don't hear a lot of those accounts unless I listen to a show that specializes them. Like, there's several different shows out there. Dogman Encounters is one by Vic Cundiff, but it's cool that people write into Wes about this stuff too, because I think these are a real thing that are out there as well. I don't pretend to know what they are, just like I don't pretend to know what Bigfoot is or isn't, but this is another one that's kind of right out of folklore because, of course, werewolves, the stories of werewolves and lichens and lycanthropy and all of this stuff is the idea that, that maybe people transform like a skinwalker into these canid beings, and maybe they're a race unto themselves, and maybe there's both. I don't know. But in any case, it is right out of folklore. It's another one of those tales that are as old as our civilizations of people being possessed by the demon of a wolf demon or something that transforms them into beings and beasts. And so, I don't know. But let's check it out. This one is also from October 1st, ladies and gentlemen, from SasquatchChronicles.com. And let's check this one out. Special thanks to Wes for letting us use this. This is pretty epic and amazing always. So not sure what I saw, but it looked like a werewolf. I mean, wouldn't that just terrify you to even have to say that?
Yeah, that's one that I want to believe in, but also I'm afraid to believe in that one because what if it happens to me?
I know. It's like, what do you do then? What do you do then? It's like, yeah, I think they're out there. I just don't want to witness one personally. I don't want to. All right, well, let's check out what he says. Not sure what I saw, but it looked like a werewolf. A listener writes, I'm a new listener and have been going through some of your episodes as I've been traveling a lot lately. And one in particular really struck a chord with me. Episode 941, the incident that happened in Youngstown, Ohio in 1989. And I'm from Ohio back in 1988 or 89. I saw something that scared the bejesus out of me. Excuse me. Yeah, something scared the bejesus out of me apparently too. It's now out. I was in Canton, Ohio, downtown Canton, and there used to be an auto parts store down there. I can't remember exactly where, but it was in a pretty shady part of town. My boyfriend at the time and I had gone down there for something at night, and I had waited in the car for him. The side street next to the auto parts store was a dead end, and I can't remember what was back there, but as I was waiting in the car, I looked down the street and saw something I can't even make sense of. It looked like a werewolf. It was standing next to a tall tree stump and appeared to be beckoning to me. That part I'm not so sure of, but it scared me so bad it went through my entire body. Matt's description of what he thought his encounter resembled, which was Hugh Jackman and Van Helsing, or the Van Helsing werewolf, made me Google it, and it sent shivers down my spine.
That's like the scariest one.
I know, right? That is what I would say my encounter resembled as well. All I can say is that I had this very bizarre experience that I've always chalked up to an overactive imagination. But after hearing this episode, now I wonder. I remember going back there during the day and wanting to see if there was anything that would have resembled something like that. And that's the whole thing. But that is crazy. That's the terrifying part. People, that I've heard that comparison before, but oftentimes people say they look like the werewolves in Underworld, the Underworld movies.
Okay, I gotta look those up.
Yeah, they're pretty terrifying too.
It's been a minute since I've seen those.
Right. Yeah, those are pretty horrible too. And just the idea that you'd be looking and seeing that in real time. Not in a movie screen, but that. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell.
I'd lose it.
Right?
I don't know. That's just those are like the most horrifying ideas of werewolves that come to mind when I think of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a terrifying concept that these things could be out there. They might be 6, 7, 8, 9 plus feet tall. So and God only knows. Now, I think it was Vic Cundiff that said he thinks that most of the encounters happen with more of the adolescent-sized ones around the 7-foot mark, but that they do get much bigger apparently. And that's
good. So we just get to see the little ones.
Yeah, the little ones, and
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You managed to take one out. It's like, oh, I beat a 7-foot dog man, and then you realize that was Junior, and then and here comes Dad and the uncles. It's like, oh God,
Oh, you're just a little guy.
Yeah, you're just a little tyke. Sheesh, what is everybody so worked up about? And then there's a 9-foot tall growl coming from behind you. Oh no, that'd be horrifying.
Man, if I ever go hunting for them or go exploring for them, I'm definitely gonna bring some squeak toys.
Jerky.
Some treats.
Just lots of jerky and chew hides, rawhide chews. Yeah, pig ears. Start to
pig ears, yep.
Grab a stick, give it a throw. Maybe they'll bite, like literally. So,
if I can give one a bath, I'll get a video.
I'm betting we'll go viral if you do.
They're anything like regular dogs. They're gonna hate it.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't dig it much. No, probably not. Good God, it's already 10 minutes still. What do we do for the last 10 minutes, Jimmy? Because I don't think there's enough time for another story.
I don't know. I'm out of dad jokes too.
You're out of dad jokes?
Yeah, I don't have a lot that I can say in public.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
I guess that doesn't make them dad jokes then.
That's like dad as in kill my channel jokes. So I don't know. But, here's the thing. I don't know that this season, when we speak of the thinning of the veil, well, I don't know that this season has an effect on the cryptids as much. Like there just seems to be reports when there's reports. They don't seem to be seasonal necessarily. However, I do think that in some cases, and I have no way to justify this other than a gut feeling, but I think that if these things are real, and I believe they are, that they must have a range, because I often equate it to like grizzly bears. Grizzly bears have a huge range of like a couple 100 miles, in square that they cover in kind of a circuit throughout the year. That doesn't mean that they migrate per se, but that they may have different territories that they visit throughout the year to accommodate their needs. With Bigfoot, of course, we believe that they're omnivores. They eat everything from insects to vegetation to meat, and are probably scavenger or opportunistic as well. So they may very well follow seasons of harvest, so to speak. Like I remember it was Monster Quest with Doug Hijek. They were doing a Bigfoot series, and it was up in Canada, as I recall. And they went to one location where they had a cabin and they set out a nail board. and they actually had something come up and step on this nail board. It's usually used for like grizzly bears to keep them from trying to get into the cabins. But something stepped on there with a huge, like man-like size foot, huge size, and it actually left tissue samples, which have been a pretty huge discovery. But they went up there the next year, or a couple of years later, to investigate it around that same time, and they found that they weren't there. Well, it turns out, I think as the episode developed, that the blueberries that were usually coming into season at that time had not come into season yet that year for some other, some strange reason, whether it was a weather event or whatever, or the season was just a little sluggish. But they did end up hearing reports up north a little more, where the berries were in season, that they had sightings and things going on up there. So that kind of led me to believe that, they must have a circuit that they travel. My oldest brother, Jeff, was into deer hunting for quite a while, and he would do as much as he could, and he did really well. But he was hunting deer near where I was growled at 14 years old, probably a couple miles away. But he was hunting in this kind of a creek wooded area with creeks running through it, and he had a big buck come up, and he shot it. And he said he had a good shot on it. And so he got down and followed it as much as he could, but realized that, this thing ran for a while. So he waited till his friend came, and then they both trailed it together. And he said it was just really losing a lot of blood. It was like a good long shot or whatever. And it was really dumping a lot of blood. And so they were figuring they were going to stumble onto it any time. And then he said he got to this part of the forest, and the blood trail stopped, just stopped. And there was nothing there at all. Now, where did it go? The first thing he thought is, did someone else grab it? But there was no gut pile around, no piles of guts. Like if somebody grabs a deer, you field dress it, you clean it, because you don't want to drag out all of that if you don't need to. Just get rid of the crap out there, let the wildlife eat it, and drag back something a lot lighter. Nothing. There was no other blood, no clue where this thing just suddenly evaporated to. But it's long been believed by several people in the field that they aren't like scared away by hunters. That's actually like ringing the dinner bell. They will actually shadow hunters and wait for them to hit one and for it to run off, and they can get it. They can get it and have it gone before the person ever gets anywhere near it. And so, but I don't think those things are there all the time. I think that they move maybe in that seasonal path, and they know that the hunting happens and they hit those areas where they hunt. So I don't know. It's just a theory, but yeah, Chucky says attracted to gunshots. Yeah. It's like a feeding bell. Yep. Justin Goodearth says probably is a feeding pattern. Yeah. They just go where the food is, and they know when people hit the woods, they're hunting. And it's like ringing the dinner bell. So I think that there's merit to that. I don't eat at Buffalo Wild Wings until football season.
That's a very good point.
That's a good circuit. Yep. You got to hit your Buffalo Wild Wings during the football season. Amen. But yeah, good to see you, Justin. I missed you lately, brother. Great to see you. And Dog Diggers over there on Rumble as well. Justin Goodearth and Barbara Mora. And then all of you, Chucky or Jimmy, you want to do shout outs? Who's here in YouTube? If you want to shout out, please type something so Jimmy sees your name pop up.
Let's see. We got Aussie Tiger. How are you? Barbara Mora, Chucky Danger. Get well soon, Chucky. Jim Cipriano. Hello. Good to see you. Justin Goodearth. We got Rachel Gets It Right. Congrats on that t-shirt. Let's see. Who else do I have? No, there's more than that. Did I say them all that are here right now?
I don't know.
Larry and Shirley Bell.
Yeah.
Elaine Clifford. Shelley Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah in Disguise. Who else we got? I didn't recognize you, Sarah. You were in disguise. We got Wizard Moon. Did Wizard Moon go to bed?
Yeah, he popped up in the chat anyway.
And Emmanuel. Good to see you.
Nanu Nanu?
Nanu?
Like Mork from Ork? Yodel. Rachel gets it right. Yodel.
I think I got everybody. Unless people hopped off or hopped in.
Hop in, hop out, whatever. If you wanted to shout out, this was your opportunity. If you don't care, kick back and continue to relax. But it's about the extent of our journey here on the portal tonight. Did you have a good time, Jimmy?
I always have a great time. This is a blast.
Digging into all this stuff. I've seen that Monster Quest episode a few times. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, Chucky, and that really seemed to demonstrate to me that they must have a circuit. They must follow the trail of where the food is available when it's available. That's probably why our encroachment is so harming to them too, because they may have a circuit that's lasted for thousands of years that now there's a development in their berry patch or something. It's like, oh. So it's got to be a lot of stress and strain as we continue to flex our buildings out. Brent, I'll DM you in Discord tomorrow when my brain is more awake. Sounds good, Rachel. I'll be waiting. No rush. Just when you get it to me, then I can process it. I'll process it as soon as I can, but I'm going to do all 5 shirts the same day, so I'll wait till everybody's let me know, and then I'll do my best to send them out as soon as I can. But Jimmy, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, brother. Thank you so much for coming in.
Same to you, Brent. Thank you for having me, and good night, everybody.
And good night to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Remember, check out Magic Mind if you want to give it a shot. I appreciate it. It really helps support the show and to keep them interested in doing business with me. And remember, it's magicmind.com/portal, Portal. So I would love 8 of you have not hit the like button. Thank you, Justin. You can hand out, demerits to all 8 of those people if you can figure out who that is. I'll be back on Friday nights. Sheldon should be here with me. And then, of course, Saturday nights. So I hope you guys will join me on all of those nights. And we'll dig into more of this. But love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. The world needs a lot of kindness right now, folks. So please spread the love as best you can. So find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back on Friday night with y'all. If you're here, come join me, whatever platform you're watching on. It is at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern time, or whatever that means for your time zone. So let me know, but I'll be here. I'll turn the lights on. You can show up then. But that's it for us. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.